Michael mcgear, what do you think? You've heard all the clues. Is your brother Paul McCartney alive?
Well, can I just say that firstly, I don't want to really rip you to shreds, because that would be stupid, because there's nothing to rip to shreds. First, I found it very embarrassing that you were just saying now. But the worst thing I found, it was boring. That last, however long that took, was a very boring piece of television. Television is to entertain, and that was fantastically boring, For the simple fact that it has no basis, no factual backing up. You've got nothing at all to base it on. It's just a fantastically contrived piece of press material, which you're making a television debut, and I've seen people make personal appearances talking about the subject. They're taking money out of these people's pockets on a very bad, and the people down there, out of their pockets for a very bad piece of. It's not even entertainment, If it's funny or it's a good song or something like that, great. But when somebody's being conned, I think it's very.
You think it's all a hoax, Michael?
No, I think he's dead, all right.
There's the proof. There's the proof.
Yeah. Oh man, it's terrifying. How that you get away with it.
Yeah. Well, I think the point at which it becomes interesting is that it is an American phenomenon. I don't think that the British people would do this with this kind of a story.
It was on once on the news that America had said something about a Beatle being dead. It was on once on the news. That
How is it handled in England?
It was once on the news. It was from
Precisely.
6:50 in New York. There's a report that Beatle Paul McCartney has died in a Good night. Right? Need I go on?
That's correct. I mean, I think it's absurd to assume that Paul is dead. The thing that interests me about it is the fact that the Beatles undoubtedly have been the prime movers of this decade. They're the most influential people in the world, I think, in the 60s, and the way that America has responded to this absurd rumor of Paul McCartney's death.
But don't you see you're assisting that rumor, and you're advancing
it. See, I didn't make it up. I'm not advancing it.
No, but even in not making it up, you're still perpetrating the whole thing, still keeping it going.
It's a hoax, it's a con, which you are on this television set, taking valuable entertaining time out of when Mike could be telling a couple of jokes, or Douglas could be singing songs.
You remember the remark of Mark Twain when a report got out about Mark Twain having been dead, and finally they reached him in those days, and he said, "The report of my death is greatly exaggerated."
I think Paul said that almost those precise words when he was informed.
Excuse me, when was the last time you saw your brother?
The last time?
Yes.
It was his funeral, I think.
No, really, when was the last time?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, I mean, before I came,
Oh, well, that was, what, fairly recently, then?
Didn't look well, though, did he, man?
He looked pretty,
And he had a black armband on with those things. And somebody's holding a hand up and stuff like that. In the background, you can hear somebody saying,
Have you ever talked to experts? He brought up you brought up the fact about this mass appeal. Have you ever talked to people about that?
Yeah, I talked to a fellow, a doctor, a psychologist who specializes in psychology of the mass variety at NYU Graduate Center. He feels that the reason this rumor got to the point that it did was because of the fact that the Beatles are the most important people of our generation, and that therefore anything that affects them is bound to have an enormous emotional and subconscious psychological effect upon the minds of contemporary.
So therefore, may I interrupt? So therefore, if they are so important, if they're as important a figure as you say they are, which they are, we accept that fact, do you think for 1 minute, you take a figurehead of your state, not figure, so
an idol.
An idol, it doesn't matter.
Elvis Presley.
Jacqueline Kennedy, right? Jacqueline Kennedy now has has supposedly died, somebody like that, that is a prominent figure in the public eye.
Mhm.
You take that, and you mean to tell me that it could get, it could get to such lengths?
I
as
don't
a
think
rumor?
so.
It's
No.
impossible.
I agree. I
It
quite
would have to
agree.
be substantiated.
I quite agree with you, yes.
Wow.
When Paul got married in England, was that covered in the American press?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was only this year,
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah. Was it covered there?
In England. But no. He didn't get married, you see. Anyway, he went through the motions, you see, because, just a dummy standing there, People taking invites. Linda's married to a dummy and she's very happy.
A lovely little dummy
Dummy baby.
Lovely little
It appears in the pictures in Life magazine all that he's very, very happy.
Oh, beautiful.
Has two beautiful children.
Alive and kicking.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Well, isn't there an easy way to put an end to rumors?
Well, the gentleman that I talked to at NYU, the mass psychologist, feels that the thing is going to die very rapidly after we come to a major point of rebirth or resurrection, such as Christmas or Easter. And he feels that the thing it's gotten such a messianic sort of quality about it now that the only way it's going to die is when we go through a
Michael, it died here today, didn't it, Michael?
Yeah. Well, if you listen to me and the people at home will listen to me, I hope to goodness it does. I think it's a load of rubbish, and that was it. That's it.
What about the Life magazine picture of them?
Yes.
It was taken a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Didn't that put an end to it?
Well, I have no quarrel with the fact that he's alive. I definitely think that he is.
but I mean,
I
those
think there
were-
are clues in here that prove that he's definitely alive. A lot of people insist that it's a great put-on. I don't personally. I think maybe there was some kind of maybe a physical occurrence around the time of the Sgt. Pepper album, or maybe it was just a spiritual reawakening that caused them to change their style and ways, and the cute mop tops are gone now, and they're really serious and influential.
Well, I want to thank you, Christopher Glenn, very much for being with us.
We'll be right back.